going on YouTube? Connor here with Guns and Stuff. What we're going to do today, we're going to mess around with this SCAR-17, do a quick review, do some shooting. We'll see what you guys think about it. Alright, so today we've got the SCAR-17s. This gun is made by FNH or Fabrique Nationale and Herstal, however you want to say it. This is a 7.62 NATO semi-automatic piston-operated rifle, which means there's a little piston in here, and instead of the gas going right to the bolt, it just acts on the piston, so it's a lot cleaner, a little bit more reliable. This weapon was designed for SOCOM, Special Operations. That's what SCAR stands for, Special Operations Command Assault Rifle, or Special Operations Forces Combat Assault Rifle, whatever you want to call it. There is another one. There's a different rifle in a different caliber. It's the SCAR-17. It's 5.56 or 2.23. It's a free-floated, cold hammer forged, chrome-lined barrel, and it's a 1 in 12 twist. So you can stabilize bullets up to like 175 grain and do a good job out at long range. Very low recoil. That's one of the big things about this rifle that people really seem to like. It's a very easy gun to shoot. It almost feels like, not like an AR, but it's kind of like an AR on steroids, I kind of call it. Not as bad as an FAL or an M1A or an AR-10, so you can control it a little bit better. And yeah. So what I'm going to do now is pretty much go from the stock all the way up to the muzzle brake, kind of explain everything. Back here you got a side folding stock, which people seem to really like. 6-position, telescopic, adjustable, whatever, get comfortable with it. And then you got a, just kind of cool, a little cheek riser here, so if your optic is, you know, a little higher or a little, whatever, a little lower, you can, well, only higher, but you can raise your eye up so you don't have to get a weird position on the stock. You got a bunch of little, I don't know if you can see them, like right here, you got a bunch of little eyelets for scopes, slings, and they're all over the rifle, so it's easy to put a sling on this thing. You've got ambidextrous safety controls. Got one here. Everything's ambidextrous. You got the mag release here. Go to the other side. Got safety here, 45 degree, kind of like an AR. Got mag release here, and then this is the charging handle, not the charging handle, but the bolt release. On the SCAR, you can put the charging handle on either side of the rifle, which is pretty cool. I run it on the right side because I'm a lefty, so I just keep my strong hand here. I can just go like that, and then it's charged, ready to go. And also, I look at it like this. If you have the bolt release on this side, you have a way to put the bolt forward on this side and this side, so that's kind of how I look at it. Piston-operated rifle, pistons in here, bolts in here. You have a ton of rail space, okay? I had a grip on this, but I decided to take it off. And as you can see here, this is a Acog TA11 or TA11. I'm running this on it. I seem to really like it. You got folding front sights here. There's one under the Acog right there. You got a 16.25 inch free floated, cold hammer forged, chrome lined barrel. FN makes really good barrels. They're really good quality, so you can't really complain about that. And then you've got the muzzle brake. Looks like it's something out of Lord of the Rings or something. Pretty nice. It helps the recoil quite a bit. So what we'll do now is we'll move up to about 100 yards. I've got some Federal Premium 168 grain ammo. We'll run at 100 yards and we'll see what kind of accuracy we can get with this. Alright, I'm here with the SCAR. I'm going to take a few shots at 100 yards. I've got 5 rounds in this magazine of Federal Premium 308 Winchester 168 grain Sierra Match King Boat Tail Hollow Point, that box. And this rifle seems to really love this stuff. So let's put a few rounds downrange, see what we can do with it. So we're gonna do 5 more shots with the same Federal Premium Gold Medal Match 168 grain. See what we can do. Alright, so I'm down here checking out this group with, I just did with the SCAR at 100 yards with 168 grain Federal Premium Gold Medal Match ammo. Pretty good group to me. It's definitely not a sub-MOA group, but I mean, that looks pretty good to me at 100 yards. I'll take that any day. I'm not the best shot in the world. I was using a 3.5 power optic, so I could see, I was holding it pretty good every time. I'm sure if someone came out here better shot than me with a higher power optic, they could definitely get it a lot tighter than that. But yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, so I took a few shots up at 100 yards with the SCAR-17. Got a pretty good group. I wouldn't say really good, but a pretty good group. This rifle seems to really like 168 grain. In the past, I've had this rifle out to about 200 yards and I've hit pretty good groups with 168 grain Federal. What I usually shoot through it is just cheap 147 grain ZQI. It's at Walmart, or it was. It seems to not like that as much. The groups kind of open up a little bit. This rifle eats up any type of ammo I put in it. I mean, 147 grain ZQI or 175 grain Hornady or Winchester or Federal, it just eats it up. I have not had one extraction problem, feeding problem, anything with this rifle. So that's definitely a big plus. Few things I hear people bash on the SCAR about is the barrel. It's not necessarily a heavy barrel. It's a 16 and a quarter inch barrel. So this isn't the type of rifle where you're gonna hit out at really long distances and accurately get shots. I'm sure people have and people can. I've never done it. I've had it out to 200 yards and it hits great at 200 yards, 100 yards, 50 yards, whatever. Another thing, people seem to really not like that reciprocating charging handle. Every time you pull the trigger, the charging handle moves with the bolt. Just move your hand. I mean, there's really not a whole lot else to it. Some people say if you're working around barriers, you know, weird angles or whatever, I can see how that'd be a problem, but I've never done that, so I can't really speak to it. And then probably the biggest downfall I think about this rifle is the trigger. The trigger, when I got it out of the box, was just awful. It's two-stage GI, just mil-spec trigger. Once it broke in, it's a little bit better, but it's still nothing to be desired, really. Alright, so wrapping up the video with the FNH SCAR-17. In my opinion, this is a great rifle. It's reliable, it's accurate, it's lightweight. The only really kind of thing that's going to kind of push someone away is the price point. These come in at about, I've seen them for $2,400, I've seen them for $2,800, anywhere in between. So that's not, obviously not everyone can afford that, and that's understandable. If you can afford it and if you're into guns and you want something reliable and awesome, definitely pick up a SCAR-17 if you can afford it. I've had this for just over a year now and I haven't regretted it. It's great, I love it. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up the video with the SCAR-17. Thanks for checking this video out. Connor here with Guns and Stuff, signing out.